Hey guys, Robert Maxwell with the Man Factory, and in this video I'm going to be giving you an insider's tour of the leg workout routine that I've been doing most recently in my own training. I've posted an article about this particular routine before, so you may be familiar with it already, but hopefully this video will give you more insight into how this routine looks and how it works. So I like to start with squats. This is a heavy week that I'm doing right here, so I'm doing fairly low reps, fairly high weight, and I like to make sure that squats falls at the beginning of my leg days so that I save the best of my strength for the squat. If you've read some of my articles on leg training, you know that I consider squats to be the king of barbell exercises, and so that's why I want to start with them and make sure that I have the most possible energy to complete all the squat sets. In this case, I'm doing 5 sets in this workout, aiming to reach failure or thereabouts at the end of the final set. After squats, I do Romanian deadlift. I start by warming up since I haven't so far hit my hamstrings directly with just the barbell squats. Starting with the empty bar, I do 15 reps or so, and then I gradually add plates until I work up to my full working weight for these sets. Again, aiming to do 5 total sets, reaching failure on the final set. In this case, I got up to 405 pounds as my working weight, and I'm only doing sets of 3 here today because, as I said, it's a heavy weight week, low repetitions. So I like to spread things out that way. So you can notice here my form on the Romanian deadlift isn't fantastic. If you know anything about this lift, you know your back is supposed to stay straight, and there is a little bit of rounding, especially in my lower back where it shouldn't really be, technically speaking, but I'm going heavy enough that that's kind of to be expected with heavy low rep weeks like this, and I'm wearing a belt that helps protect. I'm breathing and bracing hard, so I know that my back's not in danger, but I wouldn't want the rounding to get any worse than it is here. The main thing is just to complete the lift safely. After the Romanian deadlifts, I move on to what I call a murder set of leg extensions. Really, it's 4 back-to-back drop sets with no rest in between, starting with 4 45 plates on the leg extension machine and going to absolute failure with that weight before stripping off one of the plates and going to failure again, and then continuing with the same pattern, stripping off a plate, going to failure until I get down to just the 1 45 plate. I can tell you this is a brutal exercise. Doing the 4 sets back to back like this is really, really painful, and you have to have a lot of mental fortitude to get through this. But I've been doing it for quite a while, and I've built up enough mental fortitude to push through, to take my body to the limits. I find leg extension to be a good accessory quad dominant exercise, but I would never replace squats or deadlift with something like leg extension. It's not sufficient for training the legs on its own, but as an accessory movement after the fact, after the main lift like squats, it certainly does get you sore and build up those leg muscles. So here I am on the second from last set, going to absolute failure, and of course the weight's getting lighter every time, but I'm getting more tired and I'm in more pain with every set, so it gets tougher to push through, but the main thing here is to just do my best to finish the reps strong and not give up until I can't possibly do another one. With just the 45 plate on the machine, things are really light, so in spite of the fact that I'm quite fatigued by this point, I can still go fairly high with the repetitions. I think in this case I made it up to 34, 35 reps, something like that, before I reached exhaustion. Again, at this stage it's just a mental battle more than anything else. Physically, I can move the weight, but mentally I have to believe I can, and I have to be willing and able to push through the extreme amounts of pain coursing through my quad muscles right now. Walking is always painful after these leg extensions, but my final assistance exercise is calf raises, so I have to get up and walk over for those. I do calf raises a little differently than most guys. I like to use just my body weight going one leg at a time rather than use a barbell or a calf raise machine. I find my body weight is sufficient since I'm just going unilaterally, one side at a time, with the addition of the 45 plate you can see I'm holding there. My calves have always been a weak point for me visually. I mean, you can see they're, not all that thick there, a little on the thin side. I unfortunately inherited my grandfather's chicken leg genetics, but I've been working hard to overcome that, and this might not look like a terribly heavy, strenuous exercise, but I would challenge anyone to do body weight calf raises in this style, holding the contraction for a second or two at the top of the movement with the addition of a 45 plate at my body weight. I weigh 235 pounds, so with the extra 45, it's a considerable weight, especially given the fact that I'm doing the reps very slowly in a very controlled way, which I find works best for calf contraction and just hitting the whole muscle, both heads of the calf. So I do sets of 7 reps, 7 to 8 reps with these 4 sets, and that concludes my leg workout. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time.